All right, great. So welcome back. We are in session 2. We're taking a look at our integers again. And this time we want to really move into like how do we add and subtract these integers. Last time we were working on some basic problems. So I'm going to kind of share our screen and bring some of these problems back up. All right. So let us begin. We're going to start on the left-hand side. And again, we're just kind of reviewing some of the concepts from last week. We talked about where integers were on a number line, or where negative numbers actually were on a number line. We talked about how the absolute value of the numbers. So some of these questions are basically asking us to figure that stuff out and be able to apply that concept. So starting off with number one, anyone, what is the opposite of 0? Go ahead, Maddie.
The opposite of 0 is 0. Oh, the opposite of 0 is -0.
Okay, anybody else? Maddie, does 0 have a positive to it?
Yes.
Does it?
Wait. No. Oh,
So
wait. Oh, but that means it's -17.
no, we're on the same one for 0. So someone else raised their hand. Who else raised their hand? You can go ahead and jump in. I can't see it. All right, Ashley, go ahead, Ashley. Thank you.
It will be 0.
It'll still be 0. All right. Yeah, thank you, Ash. So yeah, so there's no true opposite of 0. 0 sits right there in the middle of our number line. So it has no opposite. So it does not have, and 0 is not positive. It's just 0. It's right there in the middle. So again, remember what I said? We try to make things positive. You just did it, Maddie. Because 0 is neither positive or negative. It's the only number that's neither positive or negative, right? So the opposite of 0 truly doesn't exist, or you can just say 0 if you wanted to, which would be like a contradiction, right? So it really doesn't exist. What about the opposite of -17? Go ahead, Ashley.
It will be 17, positive 17.
It would be positive 17. Thank you. And the last one, the opposite of 22. Go ahead, Maddie.
-22.
Yes, -22. Give you a chance to redeem yourself. All right. So moving on, let's go to Matt is playing a game. The table shows his score for the last 4 rounds. So Ariana, for which round does Matt's score have the greatest absolute value?
It would be round 3.
Okay.
The value of -4 is 4.
Okay, perfect. All right. Taylor, I'm coming to you next. I saw your hand late. All right. And then after that, I'm coming to you, Amber. All right. So good, y'all. All right. So next one, we want to list the numbers in order from least to greatest. So Taylor. Go ahead, Taylor.
So with the least starting, it would be -11, -8, -7, -3, 2.
I lost you after 2, Taylor. Was it 2? All right, 6, 9, and 12. I'm gonna take it. Okay. All right. So part B of the
12.
question, is that what you got, Taylor? Okay. Everybody good with this, right? So let's look at part B. List the numbers in order from least to greatest absolute value. We can do that. Go ahead, Maddie.
If we had to do the least to greatest, it'll probably start off with 2. And then it'll go 3, because recent absolute value. And then probably 6. And then -8.
You skipped one.
Oh, -7. The -8. Then 9. And then 11. And then 12.
Perfect. Okay. Good job. All right. So it's a whole different thing when we think about numbers as they are and then numbers in absolute value. So there's going to be, and this is useful because there's going to be a point when we're looking at adding and subtracting integers, the concept of identifying the number with the largest absolute value will be important to us. Okay. All right. So here we go with another kind of like, I won't say advanced, but maybe 8th grade application of absolute value, maybe 7th grade advanced. So we have a question mark, and the question is asking us which value or values would make this equation true. I got a bunch of people. Ariana.
It would be C, 9 and -9.
All right. Can you break it down for us real quick?
Because the absolute value of 9 would be 9, and the absolute value of -9 is 9.
Okay, perfect. All right. Now this is getting into a little bit of algebra. Okay. And so those of us, those 7th, 8th graders who are with us, you're going to see this extension a little bit later on in the year of that same concept. And what this is basically telling us is that an absolute value equation always has 2 solutions, if it has a solution. Okay. So if it has a solution, it will have 2 solutions. Okay. The only other option is it's an invalid operation, so therefore it doesn't have a solution. Okay. So that's the point of this. Good job. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so this is where we kind of left off last week. So let's see if we are still good with it. Okay, so everybody remember our last week stuff? Bring it back, bring it back. All right, so let me ask someone who wasn't here last week. Ashley, you ready to deal with the first one, 8 minus 12?
Yes, it will be -4.
Okay, perfect. So -4 or -4. Okay. Taylor, what about -19? Is that a calculator, Taylor? We don't use calculators here. Everything that we do is either on paper or in our brains. All right, so no calculators. Miss Amber, negative 19 minus 12.
Negative 19 minus 12 is negative 7. No, I'm sorry. Negative 5.
Negative 19 minus 12. Amber, tell me about last week. What do we do when we see minus
Sorry,
signs?
I meant negative 7. Sorry.
So Amber, tell me about last week. What do we do when we see negative signs or minus signs? What direction do we move in?
Left.
So tell me again, when we see minus signs, what direction do we move in?
Left.
So if I see a negative 19, what direction do I move in?
Left.
And if I see now a negative 12, what direction do I move in?
Left.
So where would that end me up at if I'm moving to the left twice?
Negative 31.
Okay. So it's important, y'all. It's very, very important that as we do this work, you're very conscious of the rules and the process, right? We made this then as simple as possible. The simplest way to think about negatives and positives is to think about movement on a number line, okay? It gets no harder than that, and it's very simple. The rule you need to remember, if you see a minus sign, that little dash, that little negative, that little subtraction sign that you've been calling subtraction all your life, it just means you're moving to the left. Don't confuse yourself by now adding some of these other rules to it. Remember, we said when we move into the world of integers, we got to shift our thinking a little bit, because for some people, they see this and they say negative 19, take away 12. See, we're not going to do that. There's not negative. First of all, there's no such thing in math as takeaway. There's no operation. So please don't let any teacher or any other person tell you that a minus sign represents takeaway, because we just saw right now that it actually represented an addition in the negative direction, right? So it's important, again, that we make this flip. This is why I said I would have taught, if I was in charge of the school system, I would be teaching y'all negative values in like the second, third grade at the latest, so that you're comfortable with it, because you can do it. Because y'all, you know, in that grade level, you may still be using some little lines to count with, right? So why not do it all at the same time? All right, last one. All right, we got 15 minus 19. Taylor, you there with us? Taylor, kind of in, kind of out. Ashley, I know is there. Tell me, Ashley, what you got?
Negative 4.
Love it, Ashley. Perfect. Okay. Ariana got the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So I want us to see if we can notice some things. All right. So I'm going to come out of this particular screen and into another one. Okay, not that one. Bear with me 1 second, people. All right, let's just go straight to our whiteboard, which for whatever reason is not showing up for me. Let's stop the share. Okay. All right. So I want us to notice some things, right? So -3 minus 4. Some just don't even need to raise your hand. Just tell me what it is. Anyone? -3 minus 4.
-7.
There you go. -5 minus 8. Just shout it out.
-13.
Thank you. And -6 minus 3.
-9.
Thank you. All right. 2 plus 4.
6.
Like, what is it? 3 plus 6.
9.
9.
5 plus 8.
13.
13.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this list. Tell me what do you notice about this list here? This left-hand side. What do you notice about these numbers?
It's opposite.
Well, these numbers, okay, let's just say this set of numbers. What do you notice? This first three, what do you notice? What can you say about them?
You basically subtract to add.
What do you notice about the signs?
They're the same.
The signs are the same, right? So these signs are the same, okay? What do you notice about the answer?
That it has the same sign.
It has the same sign. Excellent, y'all. All right, signs are the same. What do you notice about the value? We got 3, 4, 7. What do we have to do?
It's addition. You have to do addition.
We have to do addition. So can someone give me a rule, right? If the signs are the same, what are we doing?
You have to add.
We have to add. Thank you, Ashley. I love it. Now, let's see. Let's look at down here. Same situation.
Yeah.
Right? So positive, 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 positive. I added each of them and I kept the same sign. So if I was to write a rule for this, now notice I'm not saying telling you, I'm writing a rule based on the observation of the numbers that I see, right? I'm not telling you if this is addition or subtraction. I'm just gonna say the numbers that I see and the symbols that I see associated with these numbers, right? So making it as simple as a sight situation, okay? This takes a lot of guesswork out of it. Am I doing addition? Am I doing subtraction? I don't know. All I know right now is that for these top numbers, I see 2 minus signs or 2 negative signs or 2 subtract. I don't get what you want to call it, 2 subtraction signs, 2 dashes, and I'm gonna do something based on that. So, and I see the same thing here. So what I'm gonna say, well, if the signs, and again, I don't care what you want to call them, but we know if the signs are the same, what are we gonna do? Anyone?
Add.
We add, right, thank you. We add, and what do we do with the sign? Does the sign change?
The sign stays the same.
No.
Right, they don't change. Now, is that an easy rule to remember? Amber, what do you think?
I'm writing down my notes.
You got it. Okay, write down your notes. Ashley, what do you think? So easy, simple?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. You know, that's the question. That's the answer I was looking for, right? So, we just broken down half of the world of addition and subtraction into one simple rule, which basically says, if with my own two eyes, right, or three or one, whatever we have, I see the signs are the same. I don't care if they are plus, minus, negatives, whatever. I'm going to add those two numbers together, and I'm going to keep the same sign. That's it. I don't have to do any further thinking than that. Okay. So that's one half of the world. Okay. Let's look at the other half of the world. Okay. So let's do the same thing. We're going to, I just want you to just shout it out. You don't need to even raise your hand. -8 plus 5.
-3.
-6 plus 7.
1.
-10 plus 2.
-8.
Actually, you just shout it out. You don't have to raise your hand. This is free and open session at this point, right? 8 minus 12.
-4.
6 minus 13.
-7.
And 5 minus 2.
3.
3.
3. Thank you. All right. The hardest one, right? All right. Here we go. Back to observations, right? We're doing nothing but doing observations. We're being math scientists right now. We're data mining. Okay. This is how mathematicians work. We're looking for patterns. All right. We're looking for patterns. Here we go. We got 8 plus 5. What do we notice about, let me just go these first three numbers. What do we know about these set of numbers? What do you see?
They all have different signs.
They have different signs. What about these bottom set of numbers? What do you see?
They also have different signs.
Thank you. So all of these numbers have different signs. All of them have different signs. Okay. So let's look at what we ended up with as answers. -8 plus 5. We ended up with -3. How do we get -3? Well, we could go back. Go ahead, Maddie.
Well, probably because since we're still in the negatives,
Mm-hmm.
plus 5, since we're like still in the negative section, if you
Mm-hmm.
add 5 to it, you'll still be in it. And if you keep it as positive, your average number will be 3. But since it has -8, it'll be -3.
Thank you. Perfect. You're still, so if we can all, and that's the beauty of this, we can always go back to that number line concept to make sense of it. Because we know if we're all the way at -8 and we add 5, there's no way we didn't cross 0 yet. We did not cross 0 yet. So the answer has to be negative, right? And so we end up with -3. -6 plus 7, right? So we're at -6. We see the plus sign, we got to run back over to the right, 7 spaces. Well, by the time we get to 0, we've used 6 of those spaces up, right, to get to 0. So what do we have left? We got 1 left, right? Same thing here, -10 plus 2, we're at -10. We're going to add 2 to it. So that means we're going to go to the right 2 spaces, did not reach 0. Answer has to be -8. Okay, same thing here. Now we're on the positive side of the world, and we're now going to subtract 12. Well, to get to 0, we got to take 8. So we use up 8 of these negatives to get us back to 0. And then we got 4 left. So we end up with -4. So take a look at this. -8 plus 5. Which number has the largest absolute value?
8.
8.
Hey, look at this, which is negative, right? Look at the sign of our answer. What is it?
Negative.
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 All right. Next one. Which number has the highest absolute value?
7.
7.
Look at our answer. What is the sign?
Positive.
Positive.
Right? Let's look at this. Which number has the highest absolute value?
Negative 10.
10.
Right? Negative 10, not just 10, negative 10. And what's our answer? What's the sign of our answer?
Negative 8.
Negative.
Negative, right? So what are we noticing? What do you notice? Go ahead, Maddie.
I've been realizing that like negative plus positive numbers will usually give you negative numbers, but then, well, when you break the rules of subtraction by putting like the low number before the bigger
Maddie,
number.
Maddie, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. I need you to follow the thread. Follow the thread. All right. I need you. So stay within what the examples, right? So let me finish going through this, right? And I didn't want to cut you off, but you were starting to move to a different tangent. And so when we're doing these things, again, as mathematicians, we want to work based on what we are observing right here and now. You started bringing in addition and subtraction. We haven't talked about that at all, really. Right. So I want us to, when we're doing like these kind of experiments, you got to stay inside of the experiment. Don't start bringing in other factors. Okay. Because that's what's going to get us confused. That's how we get stuff escaping out the lab because, we started reaching outside when we needed to be all inside the lab. All right. Taylor, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
If a negative sign is bigger than the positive sign, then the answer is going to be negative.
Okay. So let's again, by observation, let's see if what he said is true. If the negative number is larger than the positive number, the answer will be negative. Over here, the positive number has a larger absolute value than the negative number, so the answer is positive. Over here, the negative number has a larger absolute value than the positive number, so the answer is negative. Let's look at these bottom ones. 8 and negative 12. Which one has the larger absolute value?
12.
12, or negative 12, I should say. So look at the answer, negative. 6 minus 13. Which number has the highest absolute value?
Negative 13.
The negative 13. Look at the answer, negative. Over here, 5 minus 2. 5 has the largest absolute value. Look at the answer, it's positive. Okay, so based on this, we can now look at, write a rule. And now let's look at the value. So we have a concept for the sign. Let's look at the value. What's 8 minus 5?
Negative 3. 3.
Just 8 minus 5. 8 minus 5 is 3, right? What's 7 minus 6?
1.
1.
Negative
What's 10 minus 2?
8. 8.
8. What's 12 minus 8?
4.
What's 13 minus 6?
7.
And 5 minus 2 is 3.
3.
So we're going to deal with the number and using, so there's two parts of the number. There's the sign of the number and there's the value of the number. And what this is going to do, so Maddie, like I remember last week you had got caught up and got really twisted because you had a larger number that you were trying to subtract that was negative, and you were trying to subtract a positive number from it, and it got real convoluted. All right, this takes away that convolution. All right, because all we're going to do is we're going to just revert back to what we call regular subtraction once we determine what the sign is. Okay, so we're going to say, so just to write down a rule. So over here, we notice that if the signs are, what's true about our signs here, people? Are they the same or are they different?
Different.
They're different. All right, so if the signs are different, we say the sign of the answer is the sign of the number with the greatest. I'm using a lot of words to be technically right or technically correct. Okay. All right. I know I wrote that. The one where the signs are the same is so much shorter. But it's only is this is a little bit longer because again, we do have to evaluate absolute value. So we're looking at, to get the sign, we have to say what's the number has the largest absolute value, and we just immediately, once we make that visual sight recognition, we just write that sign on the other side. If it's negative, we put the negative. If it's positive, we can put it, or we can just leave it. Okay, and then we need the value, and the value we get is to just take that same number that had the largest absolute value and then subtract the smaller number from it. So we're not going to end up trying to figure out, like, so for instance, let me just extend this real quick. No, I'm going to let y'all finish. Y'all go ahead and finish copying that before I keep going on. To keep going and going and going. So we're not going to be confused by like adding, like, here's the thing, when we start doing like adding fractions or adding decimals that are integers, or not, I shouldn't say integers, they can't be integers, but if we start adding rational numbers to each other, which would be fractional numbers or decimal numbers, we can use the same exact rule. We're not going to ever again have to figure out, am I subtracting this from that and da 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 da. The same laws of subtraction that we've always used, we will use now, because we've already taken care of what the sign is by identifying the number with the largest absolute value. Once we know the number with the largest absolute value, we're good. Okay. Everybody with me? Let me get a thumbs up if you're here. Okay. Okay. Cool. Let me see who else is. I can only fit so many people on my screen at one time. So, Ms. Vanessa, thumbs up or down? All right. Kai, you here? Or did you just log in?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And Richard, you here?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see if you gave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And so Richard and Kai, again, we're almost done with today, but if you come next week, please be prepared to turn your cameras on, because that's how we function in this particular space. All right, we function cameras on. You see everyone else with their cameras on? That's what we do here at CAS Prep. I know it's a little different, but that's just how we do. And that's why we learn, okay? Because we can focus on each other, so forth, so on. All right. So let me just add one more. So any questions on that? Because Mr. Sam is gonna give you one more little bit of information, but before we open it up to the other types of addition and subtraction problems. All right. So let's move on. So you will encounter a lot of problems that will look like this. Matter of fact, some of your teachers may force you to, if you see -6 minus 3, they may tell you that you have to do this. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And the reason, and so one of the things, and I had this conversation earlier, is this is usually what, middle school teachers kind of teach this because, I don't know, someone said that's how you should teach it, right? And they do it. What they don't take into consideration is that when you move into true algebra and you move into trig and you move into calculus, nobody got time for two signs between a number. We don't do that. We don't do that. Nobody, you would not see a calculus problem that's doing this. You'll see it in 6th grade, you'll see it in 7th grade, but you will not see a calculus textbook that forces you to put a symbol for another symbol. We just don't do it. When you're trying to solve algebraic equations, if I tell you x minus plus 3 is equal to 10, are you adding or are you subtraction to get that 3 out of there? So at the end of the day, you're going to have to resolve this anyway. And you're going to say, oh, wow, I see a negative and a positive. That's going to give me a negative. And then I'm going to put x minus 3 is equal to 10. And I'm going to be about my merry way to solve this problem. So again, you may have teachers that teach you to do this. It's hard to tell your teacher no, but knowing the back of your head that you really don't need to do that. Here's the other thing. We already figured out how to do this. We said that this is move to the left 6 spaces, move to the left 3 more spaces. I'm at -9. I do not have to add another. I don't need to do this. I don't. Okay. So, I mean, some teachers, you go back and again, be strategic about what you do. If you need to, keep it in the back of your mind and not show your teacher that you know a better, faster, a more efficient way of solving integers. Maybe you don't let your teacher know. If they got a big ego, you let them live on with the fact that they're intelligent. Okay, but we absolutely do not, as mathematicians, ever have to do it. Can we do it? Sure. Do we have to do it? Absolutely not. Do we recommend doing it? Absolutely not. Because why? It doesn't show up anywhere else in math once you leave the introduction level. And we already figured out how to do it. So here's what we want to figure out now. If I see, again, let's go back, -6 plus a -3. If I see 5 minus +3. If I see 28 minus -3. If I see 50 plus +3. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the signs between the numbers. So a plus and a minus gives us a minus. A minus and a plus gives us a minus. What do y'all think a minus and a minus is going to give us? Anybody with me?
A plus.
A plus, thank you. And what do you think a plus and plus is going to give me?
A plus.
It's going to give me a plus. Now, I'm not telling you that the answer is going to be negative, negative, positive, positive. All I'm saying is that when we look at these two signs between the numbers, we can cut it down to just one sign. And you know those rules that we just finished creating? We can then use those rules to help us solve the problem. So a plus and a minus will make this -6 minus 3. A minus and a plus will make this 5 minus 3. A plus and a plus will make this 28 plus 3. And a plus and a plus obviously will give us 50 plus 3. So what these do is they help us, we call it resolve. They help us resolve this situation. All right. They help us solve this particular part of the problem because we really don't want to deal with two signs. Whether or not you want to call it addition or subtraction or negative or positive, as far as I'm concerned, by my eyes, I see these two signs. I don't care if you want to call it negative, minus, plus, whatever, like plus, positive, negative, whatever. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just saying by my eyes, right? These two eyes that the creator gave me, I see a plus and a minus. I know that's going to become a minus. I see a minus and a plus, it's going to be a minus. Now, somebody give me a rule. What did you notice? Same kind of rule that we did before. Plus and minus gives us a minus. Negative and positive gives us a negative. What do you, give me a rule for that? What do you think? I'm gonna start it off. So the signs are different. Plus, minus, minus, plus. What happens?
If the signs are different, it's always going to be negative.
And so now if I look at this, minus, minus, plus, plus, what happens to the sign?
If the signs are the same, always becomes a positive.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just solved the mystery of adding and subtracting integers. From this day on, nobody can confuse you. They will try, but if you remember what we have done here this evening on January 26, 2022, you will never get an answer wrong again, ever. All right, so let's go through a couple of examples, right? Negative 15 plus negative 7. Someone take me through it real quick. So I have the negative 15. What happens to the middle?
It becomes minus sign.
It becomes a minus sign. So negative 15 minus 7. Final answer.
Negative 22.
Negative 22. Perfect. Right. I'm at negative 15. I see my minus kicking me over to the left. I end up at negative 22. All right. Here we go. Negative 15 minus negative 15.
The negative and the negative become a positive. So
Okay.
Plus sign.
Okay. And negative 15 plus 15.
Zero.
Gives me 0. Perfect. Okay. All right. We good? We good? We good? Good? We good?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So,
Yes.
yes, perfect. All right. So guess what we got, y'all? We got a Kahoot. Okay, so we're going to test our speed and our accuracy. Okay, everybody got these rules down, right? Everybody got the process down, right? I know Ashley got it. Ashley came in here blazing. Ashley, are you one of our launch students?
Yes.
All right. In what grade? 6 or 7?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Nice. Are you doing, so what are you doing on Saturdays? Are you with our, are you already doing like Regents prep or anything?
I just started today, so I didn't do anything on Saturday.
All right. We'll have to talk. I'll talk to them. All right, cool. So just write that down real quick. It's Ashley. All right. So let me come out of our screen share. Ah, okay. So, so what y'all doing with your Saturdays? Y'all want to get involved in what we're doing?
Sure.
Sure. I love it. What about you, Kai? Kai's like, I need to think about this. All right, let's go, y'all. Ashley, we would love to have you. Okay, love to have you. Kai, same thing, but you gotta turn that camera on, Kai. Wait a minute. I didn't create it. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's get this thing. Let's go. We want to play it. Okay, here we go. So on your end, people, everyone has a cell phone. There we go, Mr. Kai. Thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody has a cell phone with them. So let me do a share real quick. All right, Miss Amber's ready. So you should have your cell phone. You should have like a quick sheet of paper, you know, a little scrap paper to do your work on. Remember though, if you can do it in your head, by all means, it's fine as long as you're getting it right. So I do suggest the paper for accuracy if you need it. All right, everybody can see the share. We're gonna do classic mode. And so you're going to kahoot.it and you're going to put in our game pin, which is 486-7360. So it's going to choose the names for y'all. Okay, so don't worry about that.
My name is Winged Rhino.
Okay,
The
Miss
name
Amber.
generator. Oh, I didn't know I was muted. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's go kahoot.it and then just put in the game pin. All right, Winged Lion.
Oh, that's me.
All right, Miss Ashley. Giving Shark. Got Lively Shark. Space French. We got 1, 2, we got 6 foot people. Hey, who do we lose? All right. Okay, we got everyone. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started so we don't run out of time. But you can still sign up with the game pen, I believe, as we move through. So let's go ahead and start it. So we got integers and absolute value. Get ready to go. 18 minus 25. All right. Whoa, wait a minute. The correct answer is not 43. We gotta throw that question out. Correct answer was -7, those two people who got it. All right, so you were correct. I'll fix that for the next game, unfortunately. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so that one was a pass. All right, let's go. -10 plus 3. You gotta do these quickly, as you saw. It gives you 10 seconds. All right. Okay. Okay. So the ways Kahoots work, I'm sure you're all familiar. The first person gets the most points, then the second person, the next most. All right. So let's go. Again, if you can do this mentally, you got 10 seconds. It works. -8 minus 4. All right. Okay. I got 4 folks going for the lead. Somebody, what happened to Lively Shark? What's going on with you? All right, let's go. Next one. -15 plus 18. Wait, what's happening here? I'm sorry, people. This is off. I should have did a double check on this before I printed it. So what happens. So this was already there. -5 minus 20. -25. We got that right, except one person chose 15. Again, -5 puts me on the negative side of the world, and -20 moves me even further to the left side of the world because I see a minus sign tells me move left. So there's absolutely nothing there that would have brought me back over to 15. Nothing, nothing, nothing. All right, gotta switch up a little bit. 10 plus -7. There goes that double signs between numbers. All right, y'all are fierce. -20 plus -14. Double signs plus minus becomes what? All right. So whoever chose gold, there we go with that need for everything to be positive. All right. So I hope you were not here the first week because we talked about that. There's a need because you just got introduced to negative numbers. You can be very prejudiced against negative numbers. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're not continuing any prejudices against negative values. Okay. 45 plus -24. All right, everybody's good. I see Winged Rhino and Winged Lion are like at it. Who's Winged Rhino? Don't get quiet on me now. Okay, let's go. We're almost done. Let's try to knock this out. -5 plus -3 plus minus gives you what? All right. Okay, somebody decided to join us and play. And everybody got it right. Perfect, y'all. Thanks for showing up, Bronze Wildcat. All right, let's go. We got -9 minus -5. So here we go again with that minus stuff. Okay. So that caught too many of y'all. That caught 2 blues and 1 gold. -9 minus -5. Negative gives us a positive. So that becomes -9 plus 5. We're on a -9 negative side of the world. We move to the right 5 spaces. Absolutely no way we can end up at 4. Okay? Absolutely no way. Yeah, -9. Count back 5 spaces, it puts you at -4, not +4. Again, there we go. This is a sign of negative number bias right here. This is negative number prejudice. Okay? Get that out your system. It's not right. Okay? Let's go. We're almost done. 7 minus -2. Double negatives. Nice. Did we get it? No, we didn't all get it right. Come on, folks. So again, this is stuff that we got to work on. This is okay. Negative gives us a positive, right? So that becomes 7 plus 2, 9. Okay. So hopefully you're learning from whatever mistakes are happening. Winged Rhino, I think, is going to win this. Last one, -4 minus -5. Okay, good. -4 plus 5. Again, you got to go back. Those who are getting this wrong, go back and study. Negative. If the signs here is the same, they give us a positive. So negative is a positive. Think about it. Another way to think about it is negative tells you move to the left, and then when you see another negative, it tells you move opposite of that left. So now it tells you to move right. So negative between numbers is eventually going to become a positive. Matter of fact, if I was to draw, if I had my scribe, I can put this minus here and just connect this, and it gives you a plus. Maybe we'll show you that next time. All right, let's see who won the game. So coming in third, Giving Shark, yay. Coming in second, Winged Lion. And coming in first is Winged Rhino. So the winged folks have it this evening. And Amazing and Bronze are coming in fourth and fifth. All right. All right. So who won? Who was that?
I think that was Amber, I think.
Amber? Was that you, Miss Amber? Huh?
Oh, sorry, my connection is bad. Can you say it again? I couldn't really hear you.
Who won? Was it you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, excellent work. All right, people, today was great. Thank you for the new folks, Ashley and Kai. Tyron, definitely appreciate you being here. Ms. Vanessa, appreciate you being here. My ride and die people from last week, definitely love y'all being here. Miss Amber and Miss Madison, So have a great rest of your week. And I will see y'all on Saturday. And we'll do this again next week, Wednesday. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. All right.
Later.
You're welcome. You're welcome.